Hello everybody and welcome back to another YouTube video. My name is Chris and I'm here bringing you guys a podcast. This is just going to be like an intro podcast. It's only going to be maybe, 10-12 minutes long. Could be even shorter. You guys will see on screen. But I'm here to just kind of tell you guys I'm doing a podcast, kind of what to expect, how often, if I'm going to have guests. Obviously I have this stuff set up here, so I will have guests, but kind of what I'm targeting towards, the topics I'm going to be talking about. And yeah, so the reason, I guess we'll start off with that. The reason I'm starting this podcast is because, the NFL season is over. And if you guys follow me, you guys know I mainly post NFL content. So now with that being said, instead of me going back into making documentaries or more, in-depth videos on players, I figured I'd do a podcast, and kind of get people on here to talk sports with, maybe, debate and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm excited. I don't know where this is going to go, but I've invested in myself, and I am really, really excited to get this ball moving. I have a couple things on my phone too that I kind of want to touch base with you guys to, as far as like an agenda for this episode. So this is going to be a sports podcast, not just NFL. I know I mainly focus on NFL because that's where my background is I played football in high school. I played quarterback in high school, got recruited in college. So that is where I feel like I have the most knowledge. But with that being said, I am going to cover, NBA, stuff like that. UFC possibly, might have someone on for UFC, and MMA and boxing. Just going to talk about a whole bunch of things on this podcast. That's the beauty of this thing is, it's my own and I can do what I please with it. So yeah, it's going to be a sports podcast. I'm going to try and do it once a week. I haven't reached out to anybody about guests or anything like that, but I'm trying to do once a week on Wednesday. That's kind of the target day. I want to hit the middle of the week. But yeah, I want to have, some of my friends, some of you guys that are watching, I want to have some of you guys on to, talk sports, voice crack, to talk sports. And also I'm going to try and get some guests on that I don't really know, preferably, athletes and things like that. I kind of want to dabble into like UCF, trying to get some UCF athletes out here, maybe some people that I know. Got some people already, kind of in my head that, I want to have on the show. So yeah, that's that. If you're my friend and you want to be on the pod, if I haven't reached out to you yet, and you want to be on the pod, just message me and give me a couple talking points to be like, oh, I want to talk about this, and this. Don't make it like just 3 bullet points. Like give me like, 5 or 6 points, and then, a little bit of an explanation as to why and stuff like that, just to, just kind of get the ball rolling, have some things to talk about for when, and if you're on the pod. But with that being said, let's just dive into sports, I guess. The first thing I want to talk about is Patrick Mahomes and my recent YouTube video, which was where does Patrick Mahomes rank all time? Now, this video that I made the same one 10 months ago, right after the Chiefs won their Super Bowl. And in that video, I was like, oh, he ranks 3rd all time. But now he's won his 3rd Super Bowl. They've gone back to back, and he's won his 3rd Super Bowl MVP. And if you haven't watched that video, go watch it. But I'm going to spoil it here, so click off if you haven't watched it yet. But essentially, Patrick Mahomes is the 2nd greatest quarterback of all time right now. When he retires, in my opinion, he will be the greatest quarterback of all time. If he plays for another 12 years, that'll put him at 19 years in the NFL. He may not pass Brady at the 89,000 passing yard mark, but he'll be right there. I think he'll be, 2nd or 3rd all time. So yeah, it's just crazy how great Patrick Mahomes is. The Chiefs had the worst receiving core of Patrick Mahomes' career, and they went and won the Super Bowl, which is just crazy. Now, you have to give credit to Steve Spagnuolo. He's done a terrific job with that defense, but also to Brett Veach, their GM, who's gone out and drafted all these players and kept them happy in terms of money-wise. They got Chris Jones. They got that white linebacker, number 56. I forget his name. But then they have those corners. They have Snead and they got I can't think of them off the top of my head. George Karlaftis is that backer. They have Trey Bolton, who's another backer that plays kind of like nickel. They have Snead. That's the Legere Snead, and they got one other guy. I don't know why. Trent McDuffie. There we go. But they're loaded on the defensive side, and that is pretty much what won them this Super Bowl. And to compare him to Tom Brady, Brady's first 3 Super Bowl runs, they had that great defense. Especially that first Super Bowl, they had a stacked defense. In that Super Bowl, Brady threw for 1 touchdown and 145 yards. Could you imagine if Patrick Mahomes threw for 145 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 Super Bowl MVP? Everyone would just be saying he didn't deserve it and all that stuff. But anyways, Patrick Mahomes, 3 rings, 3 Super Bowl MVPs. And 2 regular season MVPs. I'm just excited. I love greatness. I did not like Brady. Obviously, I'm a Dolphins fan. I did not like Brady just because he played for New England. But I just, after, in the playoffs when the Dolphins weren't playing, it's just poetry. He's just the greatest quarterback of all time. And it was wonderful to watch him and just see how good he is, because it was just incredible. But with that being said, now I want to jump into the NFL offseason. And first thing I'm going to talk about is the Chiefs, what they need to do to three-peat. They've already signed Steve Spagnuolo to another 3-year deal. They're pretty much, their defensive core is locked up because they have a couple guys on rookie contracts. So that's great, getting them for cheap. And then Chris Jones, they got to lock him up, getting like a 3-year, $50 million deal. I feel like would be fine. Maybe guarantee $40 million of it. I feel like that's right down his alley. But they need to upgrade at the wide receiver position. They got to let go of Kadarius Toney, because he was just not it for them, unfortunately. Caught them a couple plays. They got to, if Mecole Hardman really, comes back next season, puts in the work, and really, gets Patrick Mahomes' trust, then still I would like the Chiefs to go out and get another wide receiver, whether it's a Mike Evans, whether it's a, they had Juju the year before, and he was really good for them. Although he's banged up, he's in New England now. But, go out and get another solidified, really good wide receiver too, because they can't afford to pay, let's say, for example, a Justin Jefferson, $100 million 3-year deal contract. They just can't afford to do that. So go out, upgrade at the wide receiver position. That's the number one thing for them. And they got to get their center healthy, because Creed Humphreys, I believe, was the one that got hurt and suffered a season-ending injury, or it was one of their guards tore a pec, something like that. But they'll be healthy, and they're going to be able to come back next season to three-peat. The second thing I want to talk about is the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow coming back healthy after a wrist injury. And now you have optimism surrounding T. Higgins. Are they going to franchise tag him? Are they going to sign him to, maybe a 3-year, $40 million deal? Not too expensive for him, because he's a good receiver, but he's not great, because you have Jamar Chase, you have Tyler Boyd, you have T. Higgins, and then I think I saw online that the Bengals are going to be looking in another direction for running back in terms of Joe Mixon. It could be wrong. I'm not too sure, but kind of to see where they're going to go. Also, they got to upgrade at the offensive line. He's just hit so much. He has been sacked more than Andrew Luck has been in his first couple seasons, and he brought them to the Super Bowl. I mean, Joe Burrow's great, top 5 quarterback in the NFL, along with Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. But yeah, that's what they got to do. Really get T. Higgins back. I think he was an important part of that offense. So yeah, now we're going to dabble into some NBA, baby. The All-Star break just finished. So yeah, going to talk NBA, all my NBA fans, if there are any out there. Not too much, but title favorites. In my opinion, I think there are only 3 teams that have a legitimate shot at the title. The Boston Celtics, the Los Angeles Clippers, and the Denver Nuggets. Not in any specific order. I think it's just 1A, 1B, 1C. I don't put one above the other. I am a Clippers fan, but I don't think I'm biased towards that. The Clippers have been on fire after December 1st. I think they have like a 27-5 record since then, which is the best in the NBA. But the Boston Celtics, they're moving quietly. They always, in the regular season, they don't really get talked about by the main media as much. And they're always the first seed. They're always winning their games. They don't really hit too many skids. So I think they're definitely the favorites in the East. Milwaukee, not so much. just because of Doc Rivers. They haven't been playing the greatest under him. They're 3-7. Their offensive rating has dropped significantly. So until the Bucks get it together, I can't really consider them title favorites. We'll do on the fringe title contenders, but as of right now, that's it for the East, in my opinion. Sixers without Embiid, and the Bucks not playing the greatest under Doc Rivers. Now we go to the West. I'll start off with the Clippers. Been balling, like I mentioned. If they are healthy, nobody is beating them in a 7-game series. But of course, it always comes down to health with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. But we'll see how it goes. In my opinion, the Clippers are the deepest team in the NBA. From start to finish, we have guys that can score. So we'll kind of see how that goes. We also have the drama right now with PJ Tucker wanting out, not getting any minutes currently. So I think come playoff time, we'll really use him, as a stretch 5, maybe as a stretch 4 as well. So we'll see how that goes. But the Denver Nuggets, defending champs, can't count them out. Last year in the regular season, towards the end, they kind of buffered a little. But in the playoffs, the Denver Nuggets are just unstoppable. Nikola Jokic, MVP, he's probably going to go back-to-back. Actually, no, he's not. Well, I don't know who's going to win it this year. I haven't really looked at the odds. But him, Jamal Murray, Reggie Jackson, Aaron Gordon, who else they got? I don't know. They got a couple other guys that I don't really know too much of because I'm not a Nuggets fan. But, you know the main guys. So, yeah, we'll see how it turns out with the Nuggets, the Clippers, and the Celtics being the title contenders. In my opinion, those are the only 3 that can really contend. Let me know in the comments who you guys think are legitimate title contenders. I think those are the base 3 in my opinion. Now, in terms of fringe title contenders, I have 2 in the West and then 1 in the East. Maybe 2 in the East. So I'll start off with the West. Of course, the Minnesota Timberwolves. They've had the Clippers number the last couple games, but I just need to see them win come playoff time, if I'm being honest. Those guys don't really have too much experience, so I just need to see them win come playoff time. Win that first series, then I'll be like, okay, we'll see where it goes. But as of right now, they're a fringe contender. Then OKC as well. They're the 2 or 3 seed, somewhere around there. They're playing great basketball as well. SGA is playing great. Chet is playing great. Jalen Williams is playing great. Then they just added Gordon Hayward to that squad, a little bit more of a veteran presence. So I think they're a fringe title contender, and the same thing applies to the Thunder. Is I just need to see them win in the playoffs because they're a good team on paper. They're winning the regular season, but come playoff time, are you going to show up? So those are my 2 fringe title contenders from the West. Now, if we go to the East, the Bucks. I know Doc Rivers has been dog water for them, but I mean, you have Damian Lillard, you have Giannis, then you have Chris Middleton, you have Bobby Portis, you have Lopez. You have guys that can really score on this team. They did just lose a really bad game to, I forget which team it was. I think it was the Grizzlies they lost to. That guys were on 10-day contracts. That was an embarrassing loss. But I think if they can get it together and find a way to, get and really solidify that 2 seed, I wouldn't see why not. They couldn't go to the Eastern Conference Finals and meet with the Celtics again. But that's fringe title contender number 1 for the East. Now, number 2 has got to be the New York Knicks. I think their ceiling, though, is the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't think they're that deep of a team. Vic, I know if you're watching this, and Jesus, I know you guys disagree, but I just need to see them do it in the playoffs. Last year, they had a good series. They went to the second round, and then they lost in 6, I believe it was, to the Heat. But nonetheless, it was a good series. Jalen Brunson is that guy. They upgraded with OJ Anunoby. I don't even know if I said that right, but I think the same thing applies, like I said, with the 2 West teams. I just need to see them do more in the playoffs for me to really consider them title contenders. But the New York Knicks are not the Knicks of old. They've definitely shoved that narrative behind them. They're really winning games, big games. So, yeah, that's it for fringe title contenders. But Orlando Magic. I like the Magic, man. For those of you that don't know, I'm based in Orlando, so whenever they win, we get 50% off Papa John's, and that's it's a pretty good deal. Not gonna lie. but that team is young. As long as they stay healthy, they could. I think their ceiling is the second round. It just depends on what seed they finish at, because right now they're either the 7 or the 8 seed. So that means they would either pair up with, I'll give the top 4, right? They could pair up with either the Celtics, who they're gonna lose in either 4 or 5, in my opinion. The Bucks, I could see that going 6, but them losing, and then you have the Knicks. I honestly see them losing that series, but then at the 4 seed, if they pair up against the Sixers, I think they match up pretty well. To be honest, I think their bigs, who they don't really have that many bigs, but Franz and Mo, they're power forwards, but I think they would match up really well against the Sixers if they were to end up to the 5 seed. But that's not probably not going to happen. And then based on where the Heat finish and whatnot, but I think those are the only 4 they're going to match up with. But they just need to finish strong through the regular season. So yeah, that is going to do it for today's first episode. I know it was a little bit longer than I kind of anticipated. I was just kind of talking, but I'm really excited to see where this goes, and just I'm excited. I know I sound like a broken record here, but I'm really excited. Hopefully you all did enjoy. Leave me some ideas in the comments below on what should I talk about. If you want to be on the pod, just let me know. Shoot me a text or message me on social media. All that is in the description as well. So yeah, hopefully you all enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And as always, I will see you all next video. Peace.